99.5 FM. I have a guest who is zooming in from across the country, a little bit east from where we're at. I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then we're going to find out everything that he has going on. Good morning. Hey, what's your name?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's Eric Cherisia, Vice President of Crystal Lagoons. I heard a lot about what you guys are doing covering Lago Mar, so wanted to get on the air and have a chat with you and answer any questions.
All right. So, Eric, where are you originally from? You're in Miami right now. Where are you originally from?
Man, all over. Born in New Jersey, but have lived everywhere. Actually did my master's in environmental engineering, specializing in water treatment at UT Austin. So, back home to Texas.
Yeah, so Crystal Lagoons, it's a lot of water, and it kind of makes sense that you studied that. Did you always have a passion for that, the environmental studying and just I guess the development side of stuff too?
Yeah, absolutely. I started, really being interested in the environment at an early age, studied environmental engineering and sustainability in undergrad and just continued to pursue.
All right.
Always had a knack for water treatment.
Yeah, so over here in Texas City, we have a really, really cool Crystal Lagoon. I think it's 24 or 28 million gallons of water, if I understand correctly. How big is that development?
Yeah. So it's a 12-acre lagoon. It's our largest in Texas, and by perimeter, it is the largest in the country to date. It's got about 23 million gallons of water. So very, very substantial.
Yeah, that's huge. That's massive. So where did the idea for these massive, acres just full of water, where does that come from?
Yeah, it comes from necessity, really. So our founder, Fernando Fishman, he's a real estate developer and a scientist down in Santiago, Chile. He had the idea for a community called San Alfonso de Mar, and it ended up actually putting a large water body there. The ocean there, it's very cold, it's rigid, you've got rip currents, so you wanted to build a waterfront destination resort, but no one can swim there. So we had this idea to put an artificial body of water. Ended up contracting with one of the larger water treatment manufacturers, built it, and then it turned murky. So as you'd expect, now he's stranded with a development, almost 1,200 units, and has just a murky pond. So ended up going to the drawing board himself, found out there was nobody that could do this in the world, ended up, over a year of research and development and really implemented that technology. So that was kind of where the technology was born. It worked really well there in that community in Chile, so he did it again in a second-tier location, and then a third-tier location in that same community.
Okay.
So then you get the idea, yeah. So then the other developers were like, hey, this is interesting, we want to do it. And then was born, Crystal Lagoons, the company.
Okay, awesome. And y'all lease this technology all over the world, is that correct?
Yeah, we license the technology all across the world. We've got over 600 different projects in different phases of development all across the world. Okay,
so right now, and you know this, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, coronavirus, and a lot of businesses have been struggling. Me personally going out to Lago Mar, people need entertainment. People are wanting to go have fun and spend, a day with their family. They need stuff like this. Is that one of the reasons why, Crystal Lagoons has been able to thrive during this time?
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the nail on the head, I would say. Given a controlled environment, having people there, you can enforce things like social distancing, at Lago Mar and many of our lagoons across the U.S., limiting capacity, implementing face masks, doing things like temperature checks to get in, really control the environment. And that's, considering when you compare to the ocean, which I have here, I'm in Miami Beach, they've got jellyfish, sharks, you can't really control the atmosphere like you can in a Crystal Lagoon technology emit.
So you're in Miami. I'm over here in Galveston County, and I love Galveston, Texas. And I love the beach in Galveston and a lot of stuff that Galveston offers. But Lago Mar, Crystal Lagoon, and the Crystal Lagoons all over the world, they look a lot different than the beaches, in Galveston. It has more of that Miami feel, and we're not quite used to that, but people are enjoying it. Is that kind of what y'all are going for, that, the Miami beach feel?
Yeah, Miami Beach. Slice of the Caribbean brought to your door. It could be Hawaii. I actually was at a city council meeting in Glendale last week where we presented a very large intensity project that we're bringing to the desert. And the mayor himself said it great. He said, we're not going to have to fly to Hawaii to vacation anymore. We're going to be able to vacation right in our back door.
Yes. And I think some of the developers, when talking to Lan Tejas, they're going to bring in shopping. The plan is to bring in, hotels and restaurants. So you can literally, stay on it's going to be like a resort, was what it seems like to me.
Absolutely. It's really an entire ecosystem. The Lagoon provides that ecosystem, the meeting place of the 21st century. And then around that, with our ticketed public access Lagoon model, you kind of build around that and bring the destination.
Yeah. So with everything going on with the pandemic, has there been any negative effects to the Crystal Lagoon organization?
No, we've been thriving pretty considerably. In fact, we've signed throughout the COVID times, we've signed several master development agreements to bring out and roll out, on the order of 10 to 20 of these projects across the world. So we've seen, increased demand. Yeah.
So what kind of public access Lagoon projects can you talk about right now? Is there anything new that's being developed? And I guess even Lago Mar over here, it's not done yet. What can you speak on?
No, yeah, great question. So Lago Mar, we'll hit that first. I mean, really right now, Lago Mar kind of opened in a limited public capacity. It's called Summer Lagoon Fest. I think Uri came and presented that. It was a great presentation. But the idea is that they're going to continue to build out around Lago Mar. We just got the word that they're extending the Summer Lagoon Fest through the end of the month. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really, really great for all the locals here on the radio station to go take advantage of that. In parallel, as I was mentioning, last week we announced a very large branded entertainment destination called the Crystal Lagoons Island Resort. The first project of that, it's very limited release, just came out last week to the public, but that'll be in Glendale, and that will be opening up front of the 2023 Super Bowl, which will be hosted in Glendale. So this will be, kind of a very large, high-intensity mixed-use project. So, more information and announcements will come shortly on that one.
That's awesome. So we went out to a media day in Texas City at Lago Mar Crystal Lagoon, right? And, ABC's out there, Fox is out there, all these, the local, Houston market news networks are out there. They're running their stories and everything. So what we have done is we found a way to hook up a handheld microphone, multiple handheld microphones to a drone. So we threw the drone in the air, and anytime we've done this, it's always gotten really good feedback because people like to see, I'm looking at drone shots right now that's playing on social media. They like to see it from the sky because it's almost unbelievable to see how beautiful it is. So this video got 1.2 million views within the first week of us putting this on the internet. And what I saw was people from Africa, were watching it. People from Mexico and different languages I don't even speak were watching this video, making plans to come to, this location. Is this something like that wow factor when people see this, no matter where they are all over the world? You'll have 600 of these locations. Is there somewhere for these people to find a Crystal Lagoon like this?
Yeah, absolutely there is. I encourage anyone that's looking, to visit our website. Locations are there. But, you don't really gather it until you see it. The drone footage is a great way to kind of see the lagoon as itself. Again, 12 acres of water, 23 million gallons. It's almost unfathomable to really think of what that looks like. So drone footage is great, but I would urge everyone to go out and see it for yourself because, even if you see the drone footage, you don't really get it until you go see it for yourself.
What is y'all's website so people can see where the different locations are?
crystal-lagoons.com.
And can you tell me, I guess the name makes sense, but where did they come up with that? Like Crystal Lagoons. It just sounds pretty, but is there a story behind that?
That's a story that I don't know. I'm not privy to that. I think it makes a ton of sense, right? Crystal clear turquoise water in a lagoon environment, compared to a swimming pool that's jagged edges and things like that. The lagoon is really trying to get a more natural feel, white sandy beaches, things like that. So I do think it makes a ton of sense. Okay.
And here's a question that was sent to me, and I think we touched on this a little bit, but I wanted to ask this one for sure. Beyond being a successful business alternative, what can public access lagoons contribute?
Yeah, I think the public access lagoon concept is really the ecosystem, meeting place of the 21st century. It brings in, for the developer, it brings in revenue. For the public, it brings a meeting place. It brings a place to go. It's environmentally sustainable. It uses 100 times fewer chemicals than a traditional swimming pool. It uses only 2% of the energy that you would need to filter using a conventional swimming pool technology. So it brings environmental sustainability. It's a 100% closed loop system, so we're not wasting any water. The only water we're wasting is due to evaporation, and we have a film that limits that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, the model itself, really brings an environmentally sustainable and conscious ecosystem for any city.
Yes. Is there any plans to bring any of these crystal lagoons to other places in the United States that you can talk about right now?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we're negotiating, deals all across the United States, looking to bring those in. With the development of our master development agreement, we're picking partners that are rolling these out in targeted locations all across the United States.
Yeah. I'm kind of sad that I'm not like a multi-billionaire where I had a development company already, so I could take advantage of this situation and be like, that's the spot. But, maybe next life.
Maybe next life. It doesn't take that much capital to start. We've got several development phases that we can roll out. I think Lagoon is a great example that you see. There's really minimal infrastructure around it right now, and it still is a meeting place where you're selling out, almost daily.
Yes. Hey, is there anything else you'd like to share while you're on KHEA Radio this morning?
Any questions you have for me, man? I'm all here.
Yeah. So right now it's 10:32. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. I'm talking to Eric. He's the VP at Crystal Lagoons. It's a really cool business model that is, just thriving, I guess, during this time when a lot of businesses are not. And I think a lot of people are looking for an outlet. You're looking for entertainment. We're trying to get some sense of normalcy, even though, in my opinion, growing up in Galveston County, when you go see Crystal Lagoon, the Crystal Lagoon in person, there's nothing normal about it for our area, but it is massive and it is beautiful. So, Eric, I just want to thank you for taking some time this morning and hanging out. And I'm excited to hopefully get to meet you next time that you're in this area.
Absolutely. I'll have to swing on by and say hi.
We'll get you in studios. Does that sound good?
That sounds great, man.
All right. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM.